And to discuss more about renewable energy for energizing Indonesia, we have Mr. Sujoy Ganguly. He's the CEO and founder of PT Rubik DNA Capital. All right, so good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, how are you?
Hi, thank you. Nice to meet you.
All right, so thank you for joining us in the studio. And then, well, if we're talking about renewable energy, especially for energizing Indonesia, but firstly, we need to discuss more about the global renewable energy scenario here, because we want to know about what's going on with renewable energy across the globe.
Yes.
So how's it?
So thank you, Adrian. So nice to have us in this morning. So as you know that the energy scenario is changing from the last 200 years. Yeah. I mean, it started from all the way from fossil fuel, and then we had then we moved over to oil and gas, and from coal, and now the days are coming when we're moving to renewable sector. If you talk about the total population of the world right now, it's around 2.5 billion people we have, and out of that, which is around 2.5 billion of people we have in China and India, which is around 35% of the global population, where we have energy consumption is growing from 3,000 terawatt hour to around 150,000 terawatt hour. So it's a huge leap, which means that our CO2 production is also going high, is increasing, and then things are coming when we need to decentralize. We need to decentralize from bigger systems to smaller systems. Like, you know, when back old days we had the supercomputers when we were working on 1990s. Now people are working on small tablet computers, right? Tablets, and so things are coming like that. So
that's called innovation.
That's called innovation. So we had the larger phones, now we have smaller phones now. So we need to decentralize our energy also in a way that it can be implemented on a lower scale and more faster and more efficient scale. Now, what is happening to the system transmission is like why renewable energy is not developing that fast compared to the non-renewable sector, because one disadvantage is that we do not have the good transmission system, I mean, compared to in the developing countries like in India, Indonesia, and all. But days are changing now, because you know, if you want to build a smaller scale renewable power plant like hydro or solar or biomass, you can connect to your grid, which is around 20 kilovolt or 70 kilovolt, which in turn can connect to the bigger grids, yeah, like 150, 275, and all. So it doesn't mean that the renewable energy should be left behind, yeah. We should be spearheading the renewable thing, and we should move forward here. Okay. Now, when you come to our government, what our government is trying very hard. I think that the last 10 years they have started talking about the renewable sector. I still remember that in 2010 the new regulation came in. There was Undang-Undang in 2009, and then 2010 the laws were changed. And you see every year there's a change in regulation here, from 2013, 14, as late as 2015. In 2015, after the current president, Mr. Jokowi and Mr. Yusuf Kala, they have changed the laws radically. They have given incentives to the investors, especially the renewable sector. The prices have gone up, but what needs to be done is the implementation, because the regulations are there, but we need to implement in practice.
Okay, what's wrong with the implementation here?
People are not coming to invest. People are not coming to put in the money to make the power plant. You know, I mean, if you talk about a hydro power plant, so like 100 megawatt capacity, which we have done past in for big groups, people are not willing to come and put money. Why? Because there is some insecurity in the system. There is some land issues. Yeah. There's some governmental issues, there are some safety nets which needs to be done, and of course we need the money. Okay. So the lenders or the banks need to be more aggressive, because they are the one who has the money. The equity investors will come in and put their portion, but the banks should also be equally aggressive in coming in.
What becomes the main concern is for investors, especially, is the payback period of investing in the infrastructure here, because in the renewable energy, how long will it take for the investment to
see it's a good question. For a normal payback, it's around more than 10 years, yeah, because the power sector has never been a place where you can get back your money in 3 years, because the power sectors are larger gestation projects. Yeah, you need 3 years to build the project. After you build the project, then you start operating it. So minimum you take 10, 12, or even 15 years to get your money back. That's equity. For the debt, it can come back in 10 years, right? 10 to 12 years it can come back. But depends all on your structuring of the project, your pricing, your, how much dollar you have, how much rupee you have, and things like that. But the normally investor envision a power project to a long-term project. Yeah, I mean, they don't mind to put the money on the longer term. Why? Because you have a long-term PPA with the government, which is a PLN in this case, and once your loan is paid back, the balances are all cash. It's all dividend. So the returns are quite good. It's around 16 to 70% on IRR basis, equity basis, which is quite appreciable. The more you can cost down your project, the more you can try to find lower cost of interest. You can get the higher returns. So that makes a that makes life more easier. And renewable sector especially can give you higher tariffs. First of all, their operation costs are less, because if you go for a power or for a hydro, you have nothing. Basically, you pay retribution to the local government. If you go for a solar, it has zero operating cost, because you don't have to pay for the for the sun. If you go for wind, it's all the same. You have there's absolutely minimum operating cost, but the investment cost is a bit high. Why? In Indonesia right now, there are not many companies who are manufacturing, the solar panels. We have PTLN, we have several companies who are doing that, but it's not on a mass scale. So what we are propounding to the government is that we are talking to ADB and IFC and people like that to see that let them boost the government to make implementable policies, so we from private sector can come in and put the money, and then we as a private and a government can build the renewable sector, which is absolutely necessary right now.
Okay, as we know, Indonesia has abundant natural resources for renewable energy, but we'll discuss it in the later segment.
Thank you.
We'll be right back with more discussion. Stay tuned on Revenues International.